Hi, welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco, and I'm doing one of them, A Song of Ice and Fire location videos for you. You guys seem to really like these, so every other week, been doing one for you. And heading over to the Iron Islands and covering 10 towers. I don't know if this is the first one that you guys thought I would cover from the Iron Islands, but when I was looking at the Iron Islands, I was like, yeah, it's got to be 10 towers. It fits it really well. We have at least one chapter there, so we get description of the location. Plus, we know about the house. It's kind of a perfect location for it. All right, if you don't know what's going on here, pause this, read this, and yeah, I do all this in one big long take. My name's Taco, and I yell a Song of Ice and Fire Lore at you. So yeah, 10 towers. I'm pretty pumped. So let's talk about House Harlaw. They are all over the island of Harlaw, but right now the current Lord of House Harlaw is at 10 towers. That it seems like that can change, which we'll talk about later, where the leader of House Harlaw doesn't necessarily need to be at 10 towers. But yeah, currently right now, it is, though. So yeah, let's talk about House Harlaw. House Harlaw of Harlaw is one of the most powerful houses from the Iron Islands, sworn to House Greyjoy of Pike from the Castle Twin Towers. The Twin Towers. How many times am I going to do that this time? 10 towers. The Harlaws rule over the entire island of Harlaw, the richest and most populous of the islands. Their blazon is a silver scythe on black. Easily one of my favorite sigils, all the different variations of the Harlaw sigil. And yeah, I've done shorts on every single Harlaw sigil. And yeah, I freaking love this sigil. So I've also did a video for the current Lord, which we're going to cover a lot of those scenes with him in, well, one scene with him in it, and then it's Rodrik, the Reader Harlaw. Definitely a great character. It's one of my earlier videos, so not really, it's within the first year. It's not like super early, but it's within the first year, and definitely wasn't, I definitely didn't do as much detail as I do now, so I'm not sure if it holds up anymore, but yeah. But this might make up for it because I'm going to go over that scene. All of the other houses on Harlaw pledge fealty to House Harlaw, including these of Kenning, Meyer, Stonetree, and Volmark. And then branches of Harlaw's are located at Grey Garden, Harlaw Hall, Hardian Hall, and the Tower of Glimmering. So yeah, lots of different Harlaws. Harlaw of Harlaw and Harlaw with Harlaws. Lots of Harlaws. All right, the island of Harlaw. The Iron Islands is one of the essential regions in the Seven Kingdoms. The Isles were historically ruled by Rock, Salt, and High Kings, and the High King chosen in Kingsmoot. Next, by hereditary kings of the Iron Islands, and then briefly by King of the Iron Islands, or King of the Isles and Rivers. I hope that wasn't too confusing. So there are the, I want to say, the High Kings of the Iron Islands. I did an entire live stream about this, but those were the ones that were picked by Kingsmoot. And then there was the House Grey Iron went and took the Iron Islands, and then that started passing down as King of the Iron Islands hereditarily, like other kingdoms. And then eventually that went from their dynasty, the Grey Iron Dynasty, over to the Horror Dynasty, and House Horror took over a lot of the Riverlands, or the entirety pretty much of the Riverlands, and became kings of the Isles and Rivers. And yeah, my video this Saturday will definitely be covering a lot of that, just so you know. All right, cool. Because it's on a horror. But anyways, so since Aegon's conquest, the region has been ruled by House Greyjoy, lords of the Iron Island from the Isle of Pike. The Iron Islands are home to a fierce, sea-fearing people who call themselves the Ironborn, or Iron Men. Well, some say the archipelago is named after the abundance of iron ore on the islands. The Iron Men claim it is instead named after their own unyielding nature. Harlaw is one of the islands that makes up the Iron Islands, the easternmost of the archipelago. Harlaw is at the northeast, or is northeast of Pike, from which it is a day sail, and southeast of Orkmont and Blacktide. Banefort is in the Westerlands, is across the Iron Man's Bay to the south. Second in size only to Great Wick. Harlaw is distinguished from the other islands by being both the wealthiest and the most densely populated. Harlaw is renowned for its shaggy ponies, which are used throughout the Iron Islands. Lead, tin, and iron are mined from Harlaw, Great Wick, and Orkmont. Yeah, so it's a very important island. I kind of started there. Very important island because even though it's not the biggest, it is the wealthiest and has a lot of people, and a lot of different houses are there, right? So history of 10 Towers. The Harlaws in antiquity were rock and salt kings on the island of Harlaw. Myers and the Kennings had been their bitter foes of the past, but eventually they submitted to the Harlaws. Both of them are on the island. House Harlaw's ancient seat was Harlaw Hall on the island of Harlaw. 10 Towers is the newest castle in the Iron Islands. So we're going to get to why this even got made, right? Lord Theomore Harlaw had lost 3 sons in the cradle and laid the blame upon the flooded cellars and damp stones of ancient Harlaw Hall. So he built 10 towers. The castle was built on a better site, but the inconsistent Theomore constructed 10 towers that are all different in appearance. It is hilarious. So yeah, each tower is made of a different style, and I find that really great. He's like, all right, make this tower, and then it's like, all right, make this one, but like, no, kind of give it this kind of feel. Like, you could tell the guy was a little nuts because every time he was putting up another tower, he's like, nah, make this like a spiral. He's kind of going a little crazy. Yeah, I love this, and also the really sad origin of they were in this old ancient Harlaw Hall, which is still in use by a different branch of Harlaw. But it was damp and moist and old, and he's like, no, screw it, let's build another house. I guess he also had 6 wives. I didn't leave that in here. He said the 10 towers differed as much as the 6 wives differ from each other, which is really funny. Well, growing up, Asha Greyjoy felt more at home at 10 Towers than she did at the Greyjoy seat of Pike. She enjoyed racing amongst 10 Towers, walks and bridges, and reading in Lord Rodrik, the Reader. We'll talk about him a lot. Harlaw's library. When the Faith of the Seven was tolerated in the Iron Islands, Rodrik kept septons at the castle to maintain his library. Rodrik's older sister, Lady Gwyneth Harlaw, came back to the 10 Towers after the death of her husband during Greyjoy's rebellion in 289 AC, saying she would remain there until her grief has passed. She's still there. Her residence is now known as the Widow's Tower, and she believes that the castle should go to her instead of Rodrik because she is older. And then Alanis Harlaw is the wife of Balon Greyjoy, so this would be Asha's mom. Moved to 10 Towers to live with her sister Gwyneth, and it is less raw on Harlaw than on the island of Pike. I guess it's just an easier life there. Like 10 Towers is much bigger. Harlaw kind of seems just more like a more hospitable island, anyways, and Pike is kind of like built over the water, like on a bunch of different stones. Pike's really sweet. We'll talk about Pike one day, either in a live stream or just a normal video like this. I think I'm going to cover the more bigger ones on live streams, more bigger houses. And my first thought would be, that would be every one of the main locations of the Lord Paramounts, right? So like, Winterfell definitely can't cover it here. That would be on a, like a 3-hour live stream, so on and so forth. But maybe you could sneak by like Pike. Maybe you could sneak by a couple other ones, but probably not. you know, those bigger houses definitely should be on live stream. But I'll have to look at Pike because I don't know if there really is as much information on that as you get for like a Harrenhal or a Red Keep. Like that's definitely live stream stuff, right? Okay, so the layout. The castle consists of 10 towers, and like we said, they're all shaped differently with wall walks, covered bridges, kitchens, and dungeons. Asha thinks the 10 towers is not quite one castle, but 10 squashed together. The Hall of 10 Towers consists of a high seat of Harlaw with 2 giant sights of a beaten silver hanging cross above the seat. That's super cool. And also really scary. I just watched the new Final Destination. So anytime you have like hanging sights, I just think they're going to break loose and then become a giant swinging pendulum guillotine. Sorry, man. Watching too many Saw movies and too many Final Destination movies. Anytime you have a hanging sharp object, that's my first thing. I'm like, oh, that's going to get loose. it's gonna kill somebody. All right. So the book tower is the fattest of the castle towers. It's octagonal, thank you, and made of a large block of hewn stone. The stairs in the book tower were built with the thickness of the walls. Lord Rodrik Harlaw does not allow food or drink in his library. I freaking love Rodrik the Reader. The yard below contains a well. Rodrik the Reader had a table by the window that he would read in with beeswax candles, thick and tall as a man's arm, burned on either side where he sat on ornate iron holders. The reader had many heavy leather-bound books with bronze and iron hasps, and even parchment scrolls that might have come back from Valyria before its doom. Crazy. Yeah, he has a great library. Like, it's a fantastic library. The Widow's Tower is so called that because of the presence of Rodrik's sister, Lady Gwyneth, which we already talked. And then a village lies near 10 Towers. And then finally, there is good fishing off of 10 Towers Longstone Quay. You want to call it a quay? I left this art up for this one because you can see the big old stone quay coming out. So what is that? What you want to call it? Quay. But yeah, I just went fishing the other day. I taught my daughter how to fish. We have a little lake near us, and they were biting, but they were just little tiny sunfish. So we got a lot. We just released them all, but tossed out, and the bobber immediately went down. I'm like, oh, and then I gave it to her, and she very as hard as she could reeled them in. And yeah, just a little tiny fish we kept putting back. Anyways, I think that's why I left the part in about there being good fishing, because I just went fishing. First time in a long time. It was really fun. Time of the books. So after the death of Balon Greyjoy and the reappearance of a Euron Greyjoy, rival claimants arise in the Iron Islands. Lord Rodrik Harlaw announces that Balon intended to be succeeded by Asha Greyjoy, and Lord Harlaw calls her supporters to 10 Towers. Aaron Damphair, one of my favorite characters, the Damphair, Greyjoy calls for the Kingsmoot to be held to be chosen for Balon's successor. So upon arriving at 10 Towers, Asha sees ships flying the Silverfish of Botley, the Stone Tree of Stone Trees, the Black Leviathan of Volmark, and the nooses of the Myers. I love the Myers sigil. It's so good. Just a bunch of nooses. And the rest were Harlaw scythes representing all the different factions of House Harlaw. So all the different sigils for House Harlaw involving the scythe. She knew that it was not enough support. She's like, that's totally not enough people here. Asha orders the steward Three Tooth to have her captive, Lady Sybil Glover, and her children, Gawain and Erna, comfortably quartered at one of the towers instead of the dungeons. No, put her up in a dungeon, or put her up in a tower, right? And to have warm food served to the crew of Black Wind. So yeah, Asha's walking around with her Glovers. Who did I cover? Didn't I cover Sybil Glover? I know I covered a Glover. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I covered Sybil Glover. So check that out. And I also am pretty sure I go over the entire battle at no, maybe that was, I think I covered Sybil Glover, and also I covered Carl the Maid, so I got to go over the Battle of Deepwood. And the reason why Deepwood Mott, and the reason why Deepwood Mott isn't super high up on my list yet is because I feel like I covered it multiple times already. So it's, if I do, because I would cover that entire battle, and I already did for Carl the Maid. So push that down the list. There's a lot cooler houses. All right. There's a lot equally as cool, if not cooler, houses from the north that we need to cover first. Locations, I mean. So yeah. Where are we? So talking with the reader. So Asha delays seeing her mother, Alanis, is what we're going with, in the widow's tower until the next morning, and instead she goes and meets her favorite uncle, Lord Rodrik. Yeah, when you think about the Greyjoy uncles, you think about the Greyjoy uncles, right? It's like, oh, who are Asha and Theon's uncles? It's like, oh, well, you got Euron and Aaron Damphair and Victorion, but you forget their mom's a Harlaw. Rodrik is also one of their uncles, and I'm going to say right now, don't tell Victorion or Euron, but Rodrik's definitely the coolest uncle. 100%. 100. So she meets her favorite uncle, Lord Rodrik, within the book tower. He was sitting at the window seat that we were talking about earlier, reading Archmaester Marwyn's book of lost books. Sounds like an awesome book. They speak of Balon's death and Euron's return the next day, and Rodrik informs Asha that the Damphair is calling a king's moot. She didn't know that yet. And yeah, this conversation is extremely long. I am shortening it just because for the sake of this video. We're talking about 10 towers here. This isn't a video about Rodrik the Reader. And if you really want me to remake, maybe one day I'll do a remake for a couple other videos, and Rodrik might be on there. But maybe it holds up. Go watch it. Tell me if it holds up. Worried that Asha will lose her uncles, Euron and Victorian at the King's Moot, lose to them, not lose them. Worried that Asha will lose to her uncles at the King's Moot, Rodrik offers to name her heir to the 10 towers if she remains on Harlaw. Though Harris Harlaw, who I'm going to cover soon, I'm pretty sure, would remain heir to House Harlaw itself, she would be able to take over just 10 towers, right? Asha declines the offer and then walks back to the hall where she encounters Christopher Botley on the way in the yard, lit by moonlight. So yeah. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. He's like, don't do this. Don't do the King's Moot thing. Like, let them fight it out. I'll just give you 10 towers. And he's like, but yes, Harris Harlaw is still my heir, and he'll still be the Lord of House Harlaw. But he can do that from, what is it, Grey Garden. Like, he can keep that. You'll just be the lady at 10 towers. And it's not a bad deal, except nobody in their right mind would think that she could take over 10 towers, stay there while Euron becomes king, and Euron wouldn't mess with her. Like, he's going to come kidnap her, force her to marry somebody or something. Like, I do agree with Asha. Like, nope, I'm going to have to actually go fight. And if I don't, I'm going to have to flee. So yeah. After the King's Moot, Euron ends up chosen by the Ironborn, who so he becomes king, who assemble at the Nagas Hill for the King's Moot at Old Wake. So yeah, Euron gets picked. Rodrik sails with the rest of the Iron Fleet and takes part in the taking of the Shield Isles. And in the yard of Lord Hewitt's castle on Oakenshield, Rodrik speaks to Lord Gorl the Goodbrother and Dustane Drum. They discuss their fears that the gains from the battle are little compared to the enmity that the reach that they now have. Like, no, this pissed a lot of people off, and all we got was 4 islands, right? During the feast in Hewitt's Hall, Euron tells them that he will conquer all of Westeros. Rodrik is skeptical of Euron's planning, as well as his claims of being having sailed to the Smoking Sea and seen Valyria. Yeah, Rodrik's not. He's a little dubious of these claims. With Euron giving Grey Shield to Harris, Hotho feels that he should now be Rodrik's heir. So there you go. Asha flees from Old Wick back to 10 Towers on Harlaw to bid farewell to her mother. When she is there, Rodrik also recommends her reading Archmaester Herrig's History of the Ironborn, which is actually, I only did one video for my Song of Ice and Fire librarian series. I was thinking about doing a lot, but it didn't do super well, and it made me immediately back away. But the one that I did was on this book. It's the only one I did a librarian of. But yeah, I did a poll if you guys wanted me to bring that back or do a couple other things or start doing locations, and locations won. Here we are. So, and these videos are doing really good. So yeah, for me at least. Yeah, so he's like, you should read the one book about Kingsmoot decisions being overturned. So while taking on provisions, she learns that Euron has had her wed to Eric Ironmaker using a seal as her proxy, which is hilarious. Asha leaves Gawain and Erna Glover at 10 Towers in the care of Elenice and her aunt, but continues to Deepwood Mont in the Wolfswood with captive Lady Glover. So there you guys go. That's everything we got for 10 Towers. What'd you guys think of it? Do you enjoy this location? I think it's a really cool one. I think 10 Towers is really interesting when it comes to Iron Island locations. So yeah, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe and everything. And remember, every other week I'm going to be doing another location video. So you're going to have to be subscribed to see that. Well, you're not going to have to be, but it would make things easier. All right. Peace.